Alright guys, part 3 of the Devil May Cry 5 Nero commission. This part is gonna be Red Queen. Red Queen was difficult to make. I am not gonna lie. Out of all the swords in the series, Red Queen was really difficult to make. Yeah, Red Queen was a challenge. It was a really big challenge to make. The thing is, I made Red Queen before when I was in high school out of cardboard. My love for Devil May Cry is for like 2 decades now. Actually, no, a decade. I'm 25, turning 26 soon. But then making Red Queen again, it was a challenge because I used 2 sets of different patterns. My pattern and another cosplayer's pattern. I'm gonna put the link down below in the description. And I just basically did a mashup. The sword is very straightforward, but it has more engine-like, which I like about it. In Devil May Cry 4, it was just very organic shape with the little inlays details. But this one has like motor pieces, it has exhaust pipes. I'm like, yeah, that's a pretty cool design. And it was such a challenge to make the sword. But honestly, I'm happy with how it turned out. I'm just super proud with it. So yeah, like I said, I'm going to be going in detail on how I made the sword. So enjoy the video guys for part 3 of the Devil May Cry 5 Nero commission. Alright guys, and here I am making Red Queen. So the beginning of every video, as you guys already know, I'm going to be tracing and I'm going to be cutting out the patterns that I made for Red Queen. For the sword Red Queen, it was actually a challenge. It was actually more challenging than making Overture. Because my pattern, I don't consider my patterns super accurate. I consider them that they are accurate enough that they can have creative freedom and you can turn it into how creative you want, or you can just use my patterns to just build it to how it is. So for Red Queen, I used 2 different patterns. I used my own pattern and then I used another cosplayer's pattern. I forgot the cosplayer's name, but I'm going to be putting their link down below to their Facebook page so you guys can get the pattern. So as you guys already know the type of foam that I'm using. I'm using HD foam from SKS Props. I made a review about this foam. I love the foam. I'm going to be getting more soon, hopefully, for this new upcoming project that I'm going to be doing. But basically, all the materials that I use for this particular Red Queen, I use the HD foam, I use craft foam. I basically glued multiple pieces to make it thicker. I actually use something new that I'm going to be talking about. I actually use some circular foam. I want to say foam tubing, that what you use to put around the vents and the air conditioner so the heat and the air doesn't get out. It was actually pretty interesting to use. It doesn't have the same properties as EVA foam, but it worked well enough that this can be an alternate to somebody just on a budget, and I'm going to be talking about it later on when you guys see the material. So yeah, that's basically what I did for everything right now. As you guys can see, I'm basically I'm tracing everything out, and then basically I make duplicate copies of all the patterns that I want to use, so I keep printing them multiple times. So as soon as I start cutting and gluing everything together, I'll be going right back and explaining everything that I've done. Alright guys, and here I am preparing to glue the pieces together. So for Red Queen, the way that I wanted to glue it is I just didn't want to glue it to edge and have that ugly seam in the middle. So what I did is I basically cut the blades at an angle where I'm going to be adhering the hot glue on. And that's honestly basically how I did. I basically cut the blades at an angle where the sharp edge is, and was going to be hot gluing with the hot glue gun. The way that I do my hot glue gun, as you guys know, I basically tape the two pieces of the foam together, and then right along the middle or the edge, I basically just go along with the hot glue gun. I basically use a high temp glue gun. If eventually later on I'm gonna be upgrading to an industrial hot glue gun, which I'm really excited to work with that. And also I'm gonna be using, like you guys was commenting, I always use contact cement as well. You guys already know my situation. I live with my wife and son. I don't want to use no harmful chemicals near them or around them at all. So that's basically what I'm doing. For the core of the blade of the sword, I use a PVC pipe. I never used a PVC pipe before. I always use wooden dowels, but I wanted to try something different, actually something stronger. So I used a PVC pipe and actually worked wonders. And eventually you guys are gonna see in the video that I also take expanding foam that I have in a can, and I filled up the sword with the expanding foam so it can be sturdier, and it's actually, yeah, so it's gonna be sturdier and more manageable to hold, because there was a lot of dead weight in the center of the blade and the tip, and it was falling over. But with me filling up the sword with expanding foam, it actually made the sword very, very, very balanceable, that I could hold it with one hand. Granted, the sword is not that heavy, but if you're holding up a sword with one hand that doesn't go either way, it's actually a very good balanced sword, because it needs to be balanced by the hilt. So yeah, that's basically what I'm doing. Also for this part I actually learned from watching Odin Makes. There was one part of the video where he actually took a PVC pipe and then he wrapped it around with masking tape, and then on top of the PVC pipe and the masking tape, he used Gorilla Glue. And by doing that, the Gorilla Glue acts like a sealer and also acts like a bonding agent, because it's on top of the masking tape and the PVC pipe, and then putting it on top of the EVA foam as well. And when the Gorilla Glue is wet, it expands, so it actually cures faster and it's way stronger than what it is. So yeah, right now you guys are going to be seeing me. I'm going to be cutting out little details. I'm going to be gluing onto the blade itself. And later on, I'm going to be talking about the bigger stuff that I did for the sword. Alright guys, and here is the part that I told you about, the material that I recently got. But I had for a while. Now this, I want to say this circular foam, this foam tubing, is like I said in the beginning of the video, is primarily used for household products. By household products, I mean you basically put this around windows, around your air conditioner, if you don't want the heat to get out or if you want the cold to get out. So when I saw these at my job, I was thinking this could be a really good alternative for the exhaust pipes that Nero has on his sword. He has some tubes that come out of the exhaust pipes, and that basically just feed. That's basically the exhaust pipes with the sword. There's a muffler of the sword, basically. Let's just call it that. So basically, the tubes serve as the exhaust for the pipes, and that's how the engine revs. So basically, I thought this could be a really good alternative. Instead of getting the foam dowels, I can just get some foam tubing, and they worked out pretty well. Honestly, they really worked out really well. It's just the material is not as good as EVA foam or foam in general, and also it has a clear finish on it that makes it really hard to paint and actually really hard to seal. Honestly, I see this as a last resort for like a really honestly like a really last resort. If people want to get this material for the sheep, they can get it because it comes in a really big roll, and they have different thicknesses. But like I said, this is basically the budget alternative of getting foam dowels, and you just get foam tubing. They're generally sold at the hardware store. I want to say like Lowe's and Home Depot because I work in a hardware store, so that's where they sell them. So yeah, the video is basically about to end, guys. So thank you guys so much for watching. I know the video is a little bit late today. It's just been hectic, but I hope you guys enjoyed the video, even though it's a little bit late today. So yeah, next part of the video is gonna be actually a surprise video what I did on the what I did for the commission. So I'm excited for you guys to see that. And then basically next week is gonna be the end of the tutorial, and also next week is gonna be the review of the project that I'm working on. So thank you guys so much for watching. This has been Carry Pops. The video is gonna be ending in like I want to say 2 minutes or so. Right now I'm working on the last part of Red Queen, which is basically the exhaust pipes, and after that you guys are gonna see a fully finished Red Queen. And then Friday's video is basically gonna be the secret prop that I made for my friend, for him having commissioned me and supporting me through everything. So this is Carry Props. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Keep an eye out for Friday's video, and this time it is gonna be on time. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Like I said, everything is down in the description below. All of my patterns, my store, everything that I use, even material listing, everything. If you guys have any suggestions, comments, or questions, please put them in the comment section below. I'll get back to them as soon as I can. So yeah, that was a mouthful, but thank you guys so much for watching this video.